Hi everyone, Megan McCann here. I am so excited to be with you for the next 30 minutes to talk about one of my favorite topics in the entire world. In fact, I gave a talk a few weeks ago in person, and the response was really well received, and it seemed to help a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are just feeling so stressed out in their business, feeling like they're trading time for money, wanting more time to do the things that they love, and still looking for a strategy that's not only going to free up their time, but help them automate their business in a way where they're making more money and their business is growing exponentially. So that is my intention for you over the next 30 minutes, is for you to get some golden nuggets on how you're going to take your business to the next level, how you're going to free up time so that you can spend more time doing the things that you love. You know, that's my mission, and that's what I do with my clients, is I help them create a strategy where they have more time to spend with their kids, with their loved ones, to go on vacation. I was just in Mexico for a week, and it wouldn't have been possible had I not had the tools to be able to grow my business in a way that feels good. So if you're watching, say hello, and hi Mia, how are you? I miss you too. We gotta chat. I'd love to hear what's going on for you since the summit. Hi Gail, hi Jamie. Awesome. Cool. So what I'm going to do right now is I have slides so that you can watch the slides as you're watching me, and I would recommend to grab a pen and a paper or take notes. And my intention is that you get at least one or two golden nuggets so that you can take on passive income right away, so that you can grow your business, go on your next vacation, so that you're minimizing the time that you're spending on your business every single day. So just to give you an example, I used to work 6 to 10 plus hours a day hustling in my business, and that just led me to complete burnout. And so since then I started questioning the experts, learning what they were doing to exponentially grow their business, and I started taking on the strategy that I'm going to teach you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pop a link right here. Just give me a second so that you can grab your free download. Hi, Sandra. Sandra, are you still in Costa Rica? I'm going to be there in just a couple of weeks. Okay, hopefully that was the right link. Let me just test it to make sure that I have you guys all set up. So you're going to go to that link, and then you're going to click grab your free download, and there it'll automatically redirect you to the slides so that you can go through these slides with me. Cool. So again, my intention is that you leave here with at least one source of passive income that you are going to take onto your business today. And so passive income, just to clarify, so press 1 if you already have a source of passive income in your business. Press 2 if you would love a source of passive income, and press 3 if you're like, what the heck is passive income anyway? So passive income is income that comes into your business. You do the work once, and it keeps paying you over and over and over and over again. So I am so grateful that most of my income, well, I would say about half of my income right now, it changes each month as I implement new sources of income, but at least half is passive income. So it's income where I do the work once, and it keeps paying me over and over and over again. So when I was in Mexico, I was still getting deposits into my bank account where I did the work once. Pretty cool, right? So most of us think that passive income is income that only actors, best-selling authors can get. Well, there are so many different ways that you can get paid passively that I'm going to talk about with you today. And by the way, if you have any questions as I go through these slides, I'm going to kind of go through them quickly just because there's a lot that I want to cover. But if I'm going too fast or if you have questions you want me to slow down, please pop it in the comments, and I'm going to try to read the comments as I go through this lesson with you. Cool? Okay, so another intention that I have for you is that you free up time in your calendar so that you spend it doing the things that you love. And like I said, I only work on average of 1 to 5 hours a day. I used to work 6 to 10 hours a day hustling. And it was 6 to 10 hours doing the things that I didn't love doing. And I thought that it was like work, like I had to work, I had to hustle if I wanted my business to grow. Little did I know that if I could gain the systems and the strategy to automate my business and leverage it doing the things that I love, then I could spend more time with my kids. Like today, I pick up my daughter from school at 12:30 every single day. So I'm only working the time I drop her off in the morning till about 12:30. Of course, there are exceptions if I have a big project coming up, but for the most part, I only work 1 to 5 hours a day, and my business is growing every single month. Okay, so my request from you is that you stay open and ready to think outside of the box. So I think traditionally we're taught, you go to school, get good grades, you either become a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, you have a trade, you're trading time for money, and there's only one way that we can make money. That was kind of how I grew up, was thinking, I had to go to school. I got my master's degree. I got into a doctorate program, and I was at a crossroads where I could either keep going and getting more education and making one stream of income working with a client base, or I could go the other route and start building my business, working with my craft. And honestly, I really didn't know which direction I was going to go. Then I started asking myself, okay, so more education. I have my master's degree. I'm making X amount of money right now. Actually, I was making zero money because I didn't have a job at that time. And I could keep going that route, go back to school, and be $500,000 in student loan debt, making $20, $100, $500 an hour. Well, that's still trading my time for money. And so at that point, I was so fed up by letting other people determine my worth that I took it into my own hands to learn from the experts. I started interviewing entrepreneurs who had wildly successful businesses, and I learned from them so I can implement that strategy into my business. That's what I'm going to teach you. So a little bit about me, just so you get a sense of the lens that I'm speaking from. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, my master's degree in counseling. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher. So a lot of the tools that I teach my clients and how to manifest and attract more money into your business is based on tools that I learned through yoga, meditation, law of attraction, working with mediums, learning source energy, learning the non-physical. A lot of those tools that we don't think in the traditional sense of making money is what I'm going to teach you. And I'm going to tell you, oh my gosh, it's been so powerful for me. I cannot even explain to you how powerful these tools have been for me that are really outside of the traditional box. Cool. Another thing is, my first business in health and wellness, I earned my way to the top 2% of a multi-billion-dollar nutrition company. So passively, I have a business that does anywhere from $1 to $2 million a year, but passively, I've been able to make anywhere from $5,000 to $13,000 a month. I created the Soul Success brand and the Soul Success Summit with my partner, Lisa Wilcox. I've been able to travel the world, with my family. I have 2 little girls who are 2 and 6. And again, I tell you this because that really is my lifestyle. My family comes first, and everything that I do is so that I can be present. I never wanted to have to sacrifice my why for my business. I never wanted to have to sacrifice time with my kids, time with my husband, because I was hustling in my business. Cool. All right. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Diane. Hi, Anna. So again, if you guys have any questions, please stop me, ask away, and I'm going to dive right in here. So if you look on the next slide here, you'll kind of see milestones in my business. So over the past decade, my business has gone like this. And I've had a lot of low moments in my business. You know, there was one year that my business revenue got cut in half pretty much overnight. So I was making, you know, 6 figures a year, and most of that was passive income. And my business revenue got cut in half overnight. So what happened was I was at the point where my business was like this, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to retire by the time that I'm 35. Business is looking great. I can support my family. I can travel. And most of that was passive income. Well, because my strategy, it was more based on hustle than it was about automating systems and working smarter, as opposed to working harder versus working smarter, that it dove and it took a deep dive. So if you look at the annual business income slideshow, it was those low moments in 2015 and 2016 where my business got cut in half overnight that I grew and I learned the most. And I think sometimes, you know, we look at struggle and failure as like, oh fuck, like I can't believe that happened. Why did that happen to me? As opposed to, that happened for me. That happened for me to really learn a very important and valuable lesson so that I could take my business to the next level. So in 2015, 2016, where my business revenue took a dive, that's where I developed that grit. That's where I knew that I was in it for the long haul. That's where I was able to grow spiritually, personal development, all of that, so that now my business is continuing to go up and up and up. So the first thing that I want you to really ask yourself is, what are some limiting beliefs that you have around money? And, you know, I know for me, it was like, you know, I was always taught that, like, you know, trading time for money. Hey, babe. Babe just walked in. More money, more problems, like P. Diddy. Money is the root of all evil. It takes money to make money. Like, I had all of these limiting beliefs that money equated to evil. So even when I was started making money in my business, it was like I had to like give it away. I had to repel it because it equated to it just made me feel icky. So what I would love for you to is really access some limiting beliefs that you have around money and write them down, because we don't really understand how our mindset around money is really holding us back from attracting what it is that we really want. And if you want to share them in the comments, I guarantee you there are some women who are watching that have similar limiting beliefs around money. And when we hold it in and we just ignore it, it keeps taking our power away from us. Does that make sense? So go ahead and write down. You can either do it in the comments or write it down for yourself, some limiting beliefs around money. And then I want you to start thinking about how you can replace those limiting beliefs with empowered beliefs. So, you know, if for example, one of our limiting beliefs is there aren't enough people that I can help, therefore I can't attract money. Your replacement can be, there are more than enough people who need my help. There are more than enough people that I can serve. There are more than enough people that I can make an impact so that I can attract the money that I deserve. Cool. Awesome. So the next thing that I want you guys to do is really tap into your service. What do you stand for? one of my favorite quotes is, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And so I think sometimes as we're going through the motions and we're like, I gotta work harder, I gotta hustle, we forget what we stand for. And I truly believe that your mission solves all problems. Once we start getting into those limiting beliefs around money, we start making our business about ourselves rather than who we can serve. My mission is really to empower women to be in a position of financial freedom so that they can have more time to spend doing the things that they love. They can have more time to spend with their friends, with their husbands, their boyfriends, their kids. That's my mission. And so anytime I'm at a crossroads and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do here, I go back to my mission, and more often than not, it like within a second, it helps me solve that problem. Okay, so what I want to do right now is, and again, you can either write this in the comments or you can write it down on paper, is ask yourself, how many hours a day are you currently working in your business? And I know, entrepreneur life, sometimes we're working 10 hours a day, sometimes we're working 1 hour a day. But on average, how many hours a day are you currently working in your business? If you want to pop it in the comments, pop it in the comments. Hi, Amy. Hi, Linda. The next question I want you to ask yourself is, how much money are you currently making? And you can write this on a monthly basis if that makes sense for you. If you're not sure on a monthly basis and you just want to say annual, you can do that as well. So how many hours a day are you currently working in your business? I'm going to write this in the comments. And then the next is, what is your income goal this year? Monthly and annual. So after you've decided that, how much more do you need to make per month to hit your income goal for 2019? So if you're currently making $5,000 a month and your goal is to start making $10,000 a month, you know that the difference is $5,000. That's going to fill the gap between where you're at right now and your vision for the year. How many hours per day do you want to work? And as you start writing these down, I really want you to get super aware of the emotions around your goals. So for example, if I write down $10,000 a month and I write it down and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a really big number, I don't feel good about it, the fear starts tapping in, those are emotions that are going to repel your vision away. But if you're writing down $1,000 a month and you're like, okay, like, yeah, I'm stretching, but it actually feels really good for the first time and I can feel it, I feel confident about it, then you know that that is a goal for you to keep building more momentum towards. But if you're having negative emotions around your desires, you might want to consider going more general, because those negative emotions are just going to repel your desires away. And this is something that a lot of business strategy coaches don't really talk about, is when we set goals and intentions, having a strategy is great, but if we don't consider how we feel about our desires, we are unknowingly repelling our desires away, and we're never going to manifest what it is that we really want, because we're just repelling versus attracting and building momentum towards what it is that we want. So if that makes sense, press 1. If you're like, that's so confusing, press 2. Press 1 if that makes sense. Press 2 if you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Megan? I want to make sure that I'm speaking to people who, I want to make sure that it makes sense to you guys. Cool? Okay. So the next thing that I want you to really tap into is, what impact are you making? What is the transformation that you're providing for your customers? If you're not clear on the transformation that you're providing your customers, they're never going to know what service you provide. They're never going to know that you can help them. So again, for me, my transformation is creating more time and financial freedom for women so that they can have the space to do the things that they love. My service is, I'm a business strategy coach. I give my clients systems to create more time and financial freedom in their business, to make more money with less time and effort. So for me, I'm very clear on the transformation and the service that I provide. If you're in a place where you're like, I'm still trying to figure it out, just write down, I'm still trying to figure it out. Really be honest with where you're at. The next question is really getting into the pain point of your dream customer. So what are they struggling with? My customers are struggling with time, they're struggling with money, they're struggling with sometimes relationships, they're struggling with their business, they're feeling confused and overwhelmed. And then how do you solve the problem? Okay, so I'm going to go through these kind of quickly because I really want to get into the offerings and what you're going to offer your clients. Okay, so the next part of this class is really getting into your client pathway. So we have 3 different phases of offerings that we offer to our customer base. So the first phase, and this is going to be a low commitment for your clients and potential customers, is this is a free and low commitment. So this is easy to say hell yes. So examples of phase 1 offerings can be freebies or free downloads, free ebooks, free templates. If you're maybe in the medical field, or if you're a lawyer, I have a lot of clients who are either lawyers or they're in the medical field. Well, they have free templates that they provide. So, if you're a lawyer, it could be, 3 must-haves as a new business owner. The 3 first steps you want to take as a new business owner. If you're, for example, a chiropractor, it could be, 3 steps to proper posture, that type of thing. Another example could be a free challenge. If you know me, I love my free 5-day challenges. I love providing challenges to my potential customer base. Doing a free masterclass, a free webinar, listening to a podcast, going on YouTube, a free live event, joining a free Facebook group. All of you that are watching this right now are part of my phase 1 offering. This is a free offering, so you can get to know me. You can get to know the value that I provide to my followers. So for all of you, you can create a phase 1 offering today that is free and low commitment. So go ahead and write that down. If you're like, I don't even know where to begin, pop it in the comments. Press 5 if you don't have a free offering, and tell me a little bit about the service that you provide so I can give you some ideas. Cool? If you do have a free offering, press 6 and let us know what it is. You can even post a link to your freebie and we can opt in for it. Cool. Okay. Hi, Becky. All right. So the next one is phase 2. So phase 2 offering is more effort. It's more thought into your potential customers saying yes. So this is a middle commitment. Some examples I have are group programs under $1,000, a product under $1,000, an ebook under $100. I have a free business assessment or a free sales call, and I put this in the phase 2 because it's going to require more time for both the person that you're working with and for you. So even though it's free, it still would be phase 2. doing a paid challenge under $100, a masterclass under $100, that's phase two. So again, phase two is an offering where it's going to require a little bit more effort, a little bit more thought into your client saying yes. If you have a phase two offering, press 7 and let us know what it is. If you don't have a phase two offering, press 8. And if you want me to help you with some ideas on how you can have a phase two offering, just let me know, pop it in the comments, and I'd be happy to coach you throughout the way. Okay, so the last one is phase 3. And so this is going to be a high commitment. It's going to be a very small fraction of your audience saying yes, because it's going to be a higher commitment for both you and for them. It's going to be more money. It's going to be more time. So some examples that I have for a phase 3 offering would be a high-end one-on-one coaching program, a group program over $1,000, joining a mastermind program, a paid ticket to an event, because it's going to take a lot of time for them to actually physically get to the event. For the one-on-one coaching, I always tell my clients, anywhere from like $3,000 to $5,000 to start off with. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And it's not, let's make it more money just to make more money. It's let's increase the price so that both you and you're working with are going to take that level of coaching more seriously. Now, I'm going to tell you, when 6 years ago, I was basically coaching my clients for free. I was working with a lot of people, and my mentality was, I want to help anybody and everybody, because I know that my value is beyond. I know that I'm going to care more about my clients than anybody else, and I want to work with as many people as possible so that I can make the most transformation possible. Well, what was happening is, because my programs were basically free, people were taking advantage of me. And as a result, I wasn't able to put as much time and effort into a small amount of people, that like 1% to 3% of people who are ready to have massive transformation, to take it to the next level. So the minute that I created my phase 3 offering and started charging my clients a high ticket price, all of a sudden, I was putting so much more time and effort and energy into those handful of people who were ready to have transformations. And then all of a sudden, every single person that I was working with had a really big transformation. They were all providing huge testimonials for me, testimonials that I never had before. So if you're scared to offer a high level commitment product, I'm going to tell you that both you and your customers will take that level of transformation so much more seriously, and your value is going to go from here to up here. Does that make sense? So if you currently have a high level one-on-one coaching program that's at least a few $1,000s, go ahead and press 9 so that I know who we're working with. And even if you want to pop a link to your offering, you can do that in the comments. If you don't yet, press 10. And I would be happy to support you with this. But again, I'm going to tell you, if you're a coach and you don't have a high ticket price, I'm going to tell you, let's start creating one now, because the level of transformation that you're going to provide will be unparalleled. Cool. Okay, so the beautiful thing about this client pathway is you have the phase 1, which is the low commitment, free price, easy for people to say yes, so they can start to get to know you a little bit better. They can start to know your work. You can start providing value. And with this phase 1 offering, they might go from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. They might stay at phase 1 and never move on to phase 2 and phase 3. They might be at phase 1 for like a year, and then all of a sudden they get so much value from you that it's so easy for them to say yes to your phase 3 offering. I know with my current business coach, I was at phase 1 for over a year. And I was just watching, and I got so much value out of her. It was amazing. And finally, after over a year, I flew to New York. I met her in person. I didn't even know what she was going to offer. All I knew was I was going to say yes. And actually, what she offered at the event, I wanted something that was more. And I reached out to her personally and I said, how do I get you one-on-one? And I joined her mentorship program, and it didn't even matter the price because I was so bought in to who she was and what her service was that it was so easy for me to say yes to phase 3. So I would write down what offerings you have right now, what you're going to implement, and how many different sources of income that you have right now so that you can understand what phases will fill in the gaps. Maybe all you have is phase 2. Maybe all you have is phase 1 and phase 2, and then you know that phase 3 is the next step for you. So write that down. I recommend having at least one in each category. Definitely at least a phase 3 so that you are, the beautiful thing about the phase 3 is it doesn't take a whole lot of clients for you to surpass that 6-figure mark. Imagine you have, say you have a $5,000 program. Well, you'll know that, okay, if you want to hit $10,000 a month, all you have to do is sign on 2 clients every single month at $5,000, given that they've paid in full for you to hit that $5,000 mark. And for me, that's just easy math. It doesn't always work that way, but just for simplicity's sake, that makes sense. That's easy to digest. So again, if you don't have a phase 3 offering, write down what phase 3 offering you're going to take on. If you're like, none of those sound good to me, pop it in the comments and I can give you some tips. But again, my intention is that you have a different offering in each phase so that you can really work with your client pathway and nurture your clients to the point where they're going to your event or, you go live, you have this high level offering and they're like, I don't even care how much it costs. I just adore you and I am bought into whatever you provide. Cool. Okay, so some tips that I have for you guys are, the first tip to working less and making more is automation. Automation is key if you are not wanting to have to go and reach out to your potential customers, your leads every single day. If you want leads coming your way every single day, it's really important that you have a funnel that is completely automated so that more people are coming into your network every single day and they're gaining value. So, my business coach, one of my business coaches showed me how to create automated funnels. It starts with a free offering. You have your driver, you have your opt-in page, and then you have some system to nurture all of your leads to lead them to your offering. Some great tools that I've used are Canva for my freebie opt-in page. I've used ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, my website, email system can be MailChimp or ConvertKit, or I know some people use Kajabi. Payment processor, I use Moonclerk. That's facilitated through Stripe. And I love Moonclerk because with Moonclerk, you can have forms and you can have reoccurring payments. So my clients who are on a payment plan, I don't have to harass them about money. I just find deposits into my bank account and I don't have to harass them at all. And it just makes it so much more seamless so that I can focus on my zone of genius. I can focus on my work. If you're at a point where you're having to constantly reach out to people and you're like, you're late on your payments, don't do that. Don't do that, because that is going to take up so much time and energy, and it's stressful. It's really stressful hounding people for money. That should not be your job, unless your job is to hound people for money. Unless that's what you do, that's in your job description, then okay. But if you're not in the finances world, if you're not a bookkeeper, an accountant, Don't do it. Don't do it. My next tip is build your team. So if you are a solopreneur who is doing it all alone, I would say stop now and start hiring out. And even if it's just, if you're like, well, I don't really have the budget to start building my team, I would recommend starting small. Maybe you can go to internships.com and you can hire an intern to start taking over some of the tasks that are outside of your zone of genius. Another thing you can do is start training somebody to replace you. So for example, if you're a graphic designer charging $80 an hour or maybe $300 an image, but you're maxed out with time, you want to make more money, you can train someone who can duplicate your work. You charge your client $80 an hour. You pay your graphic designer $20 to $40 depending on the experience and talent. You can decide, well, that's at least $40 an hour passive income. That's great money passively. So I want you guys to start really thinking outside of the box, because I think traditionally we don't believe that there's a way that we can actually build our agency, that we can start making passive income. It doesn't need to be as complicated as we make it. Another thing you can do is, so internships.com, you can get an intern, you can hire a VA. There are so many different websites where you can actually find a VA. Internships.com, like I mentioned, is one. Upwork.com. There are so many other, I can't even think of all of them right now, but once I do, I can pop it in the comments. Another tip is to increase your price point. There are way too many people who are undercharging because they want to beat the competition. And I know, again, that was me. That's why I was charging basically nothing for my services, is I wanted to beat the competition. I wanted to work with as many people as possible. Well, I will tell you this. There is only one you. There is only one you who has your story. Do not undervalue how much value you have to give. Do not underestimate how powerful you are. There are way too many people undercharging, and they believe that for undercharging, for providing an affordable price, they'll be able to help more people. But the reality is that when you start undercharging, the client undervalues the worth of your program and doesn't take you seriously. There's only one you. So if you're not feeling so confident about the transformation that you provide, maybe you're just starting off, some tips I have for you is to start gathering your testimonials. Testimonials are so important because it gives people proof that you can provide transformation. So maybe you start reaching out to people and start building your testimonial base and just saying, hey, will you be my next transformation? I'm just starting out. I'll trade you my services for a testimonial. And that testimonial will pay you for good. I promise you. Because I know for me, one of the first things that I look at is if I want to hire someone, I go to their website and I see what testimonials they have. If the testimonials do not speak to me, I move on and I find somebody who does. If the website or if the coach doesn't have testimonials, then I'm assuming that they can't provide me a transformation. So again, I move on to the next person. So testimonials, you guys, is so huge. Another thing that I really encourage you is to set up boundaries, set up non-negotiables. What are you not willing to sacrifice in your business? What are your office hours? So, time blocking for me is so important. That way I'm not like scrolling on social media thinking that I'm working, but I'm really just looking at baby pictures. How many of you have done that? So employ yourself, have office hours, time block. So with time blocking, maybe the first 2 hours a day is for you, and then 9 to 12 is when you're working with clients. 12 to 2 is when you follow up. I'm just saying this, I'm just pulling this out, but you time block and then you color code. Google Calendar is a great way to color code, so you know that when it's in the red, you're working with clients. When it's green, you're following up. When it's blue, it's time, personal time for you. and you're employing yourself. Ask yourself, how many hours a week do you want to work? And then you fit within that time frame so you're not overextending yourself. At the end of the day, rate yourself. Would you hire or fire yourself? It's really that easy. The next tip I have is find a source of passive income. So passive income, again, is where you do the work once, you keep getting paid, and it pays you over and over and over and over again. So it's not just for actors, it's for any entrepreneur who has a strategy. So I'm going to give you some examples. I know we went through the different phases, and I'm going to show you some different examples of how you can take on passive income. Creating templates, creating books or ebooks, creating downloads, doing an evergreen masterclass. So an evergreen masterclass is something like today. So I'm recording this training and I'm going to download it. I can put a price tag to this class and I could sell it. Say it's $99, which actually the value for this class is right around $250. But I could sell it for $50 to $250, and I can have an automated funnel where people are constantly getting redirected and they're paying for this masterclass. A mini course. So I've even repurposed 5-day challenges. I've recorded them and I've turned them into a mini course. And I have a funnel where people are constantly paying for that mini course. You can have a membership program where people pay, say, for example, $50 a month to join an exclusive mentorship group, and then you're providing them value every single month. You can have video tutorials, affiliate money, which is one of my favorite ways to make money. And as somebody who constantly has affiliates for my events and my programs, I love having affiliates, and it feels so good to pay them money for recommending my programs. So that's passive income. Cool. Okay, I feel like I'm talking really fast. Do you guys have questions? Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ashley. Awesome. Okay. So if you go to my download, you're going to see 3 different scenarios where I have created 10 to over $20,000 months. And you can look through that and see it really doesn't have to be as difficult as we make it. It really doesn't have to be as difficult as we make it. I think, at least for me, I thought I needed to create 10 to 20 different sources of income and focus on 10 to 20 different things. And so that way I would have all these different ways to make money. And as a result, I was overextending myself and I was exhausting myself to almost burnt out. I would right now just focus on one that you're going to take on today and simplify and create momentum so that people are seeing your new offering and you start making money today. So focus on at least one thing, simplify it, create a funnel that's getting eyes to your offering so that you start making money today. So write that down and then ask yourself how you're going to hold yourself accountable. Did you guys know that you have a 65% chance of completing a goal if you commit to someone? That's huge. If you have a specific appointment with an accountability partner, you will have increased your chance of success by up to 95%. That is huge. And that was a study conducted by the American Society of Training and Development. I didn't just pull that out of my butt. It's a real statistic. And it's really why mentorship, mastermind programs, coaching programs are so important and they're so successful, is because you could know exactly the strategy that you're taking on. You can know exactly what you're going to do. But if you don't have somebody who you're checking in with on a weekly or sometimes daily basis, more often than not, you're not going to keep the ball moving forward. So if you have an accountability partner, kudos to you. If you don't, I would say take one on right away today. Cool. Okay. So if you would like to apply for a free strategy session with me, I am going to go back in and I'm going to post a link to apply. I only take on a few strategy sessions each month because that's all I have time for. That's all I have time for, working 1 to 5 hours a day. And I have some really fun programs coming up. I have a mastermind group that's starting in middle of June. We already have people signing up. It's going to sell out. And it's a year-long mastermind group where we check in twice a month, where we have classes every single week. You have an accountability partner. You have me as your mentor. We go through personalized strategy sessions, and we ensure that you're on the right track to hit your goals and your desires for the year. So if you're interested, you can send me a message. You can reach out to me, and we can see if it makes sense for you. Again, I want to support you in the best way I know how to, whether it's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And my intention is to give you the most value possible so that you can start really thinking outside of the box. We live in a world today where we can create anything that we want out of absolutely nothing. It's so beautiful. This is the best time to be an entrepreneur with technology. I mean, I've worked with clients from all over the world. I've helped people from all over the world. I've had people fly into my events from all over the world because of technology and because of what we have access to. It's really amazing. So please think outside of the box. Know your worth. You're so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. And just know that I'm here for you in any capacity that you need me. And I just really hope that you have gained so much from this. So thank you so much for your time. And I will talk to you all very soon. Boom. Mwah. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.